But why, some say, the moon? Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? Why, 35 years ago, fly the Atlantic? We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other thing. Not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one we intend to win. We choose to go to the moon.
All right, everybody, welcome to Super Happy Dragon Lucky episode 0x4F. It's our 80th episode. We're about to flip the bit to 50. So this week, we have Number Go Up, sponsored by FOMO Hunt, and we're going to cover Bitcoin. So last week, Number Go Up, and of course, this week, thank you, Elon, Number Go Up. Pretty good stuff. Next update, we have LCP voting about to start, and one way or another, this is we expect, we're hoping that that we can start it tomorrow on Wednesday. We've been waiting quite a bit because Ethereum prices or Ethereum fees are so high lately, and deploying the contract is going to be notably expensive. So, but we're going to do it anyway. Hopefully we get some gap sometime today to roll it out where it won't cost us too ridiculously much in ETH. You can look, there are, I don't know the final count right now, but there are over 50. The proposal process is shut down, so you can't make any new proposals. The top 5 proposals will win, and any proposal with more than 50 unique voters and over 1 million lore. If that happens, we put that in because we don't know how much lore is going to be committed to all of these layers. So it's possible we'd have more than 5 created. You know, let's see. It'll be a fun week. They're going to run the voting process for a whole week, and you know, the results will be on not next show, but we'll at least show you the how things are going. So get ready for that. There's going to be a full interface to vote with lore, both internal and external on DEN. So it'll be fun. It'll be really interesting. The next up, DEN governance is live. So we have already conducted 2 votes, one on the LCP rules that was voted yes. In fact, we had more votes. I believe we had more votes from the community than from DEN itself. I'd have to look. I know that we have more lot distributed for governance, for decentralized governance. The community owns more votes than DEN, which is what the goal was in the end, so that we can make sure that we're listening to the community and doing what is wanted and needed. So we did LCP rules as 1 vote, and we also did the very first Jason in the community, if you know him, created the first proposal, which was to show US dollar balances along with the Matter balance in the wallets. So that passed, and we're going to get that built as soon as we can. We have 2 more votes underway currently that we're I think we have at least a few days left, probably the better part of a week left before they close out. But the first is on a very interesting 1-hour content eval window, so that you only have an hour to evaluate content once you start evaluating it. It's very interesting. It's sometimes, I hope it's not too confusing, but it's going to be very important for the economy and for the prediction market of which content is better, right? So very important to the way the system works. We also have another vote on opening up a negative trending pool. That is to be rewarded if you can guess which content is the worst content that is posted, which is also important for the eval and the curation process on all of this content. Really cool stuff. DEN's really coming together. It's pretty amazing. And they just did a a pretty big rollout of basically to cover some efficiency issues. We had a whole bunch of new users about a week ago, and it killed the system for about half a day. And this was at least the biggest rollout of all of the results from that, to really clean up some of the search and the indexing on a lot of the data. So right after this, we're going to be back with our guests. Okay.
En las redes sociales de hoy en día, el contenido de calidad a menudo pasa desapercibido. A los usuarios se les paga por la creación, evaluación y conservación de los contenidos de calidad. Los creadores de contenido son recompensados según el compromiso y el alcance de su publicación o comentario. Los evaluadores de contenido son recompensados en función de la velocidad y los resultados de sus predicciones. Los propietarios de la comunidad son recompensados en función del compromiso dentro de su comunidad. El contenido de calidad se paga.
All right, guys. Welcome our guests. We have Orrin with us, our very favorite cyborg musician and artist from the future.
Hello.
And Tytan, YouTuber and part of the FOMO Hunt team. I'm not sure how to describe it. I should have asked, are you a founder or are you
co-founder? Yeah, co-founder of FOMO Hunt, Nifty Labs now.
Very good. So how are you guys both doing? Good week?
Yes, very well.
Great week. Very good.
Yeah, been good so far, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna get straight into it. And by the way, I'm doing this alone today, so if there's any issues, it's my fault. First up, let's see here. Tesla says that they invested 1.5 billion in Bitcoin, sending cryptocurrency to 44. I think it went to 47. What was the all-time so far?
48.
48.
Wow.
That's okay. I try not to watch. So what are your thoughts? How long before these companies start using the tech more so than just speculating? I mean, this is the kind of an early bit, right? But what are your thoughts, Tytan?
I think we're going to witness a lot more corporations start to catch on to the idea that not only would adding Bitcoin to their treasury be a good move for their stock, especially right now as the stock market's kind of, I don't know, we don't know if it's going to top out or not, or, what's this injection of new capital from the stimulus package is going to do. But I think it's great for the stock. I think it's great for publicity. I think it's great for their balance sheet. So I don't really see like any cons to doing that. And Michael Saylor's already put the red carpet out on how to do this whole process. And if you look at the CNBC interview with Michael Saylor on the recent, after the recent news with Elon Musk, he says he doesn't deny it, but he doesn't say that he didn't help Elon Musk, which probably means that that's one of the reasons that he even decided to do that for Tesla. So I think it's about to accelerate very rapidly. I think we're about to see a very huge demand skyrocket. I think supply is about to just shrink. Exchanges are losing supply. So I think we're about to see like a supply shock, personally.
I think so too. Hey, what do you think, Orrin?
Well, Elon Musk is the richest man in the world with over 773 billion net worth, and his business accounts for over 82% of the electronic vehicle segment. So while it may not lead to development immediately, it sets a precedent for other businesses and might create a ripple effect across other industries, businesses, and trains of thinking within the corporate world. We believe that this is the beginning of mainstream adoption. Elon is a more progressive and new age business, potentially signaling and greenlighting to more conservative bureaucratic businesses that it's okay to begin investing and experimenting with cryptocurrencies.
I agree. And with Mars, given that he's already said he's not going to work himself into current international law, he's going to start anew. It's a very good thing. You can imagine the potential for crypto with that, right? That's next 100 years, right? That's the stuff that you need to pay attention to. Okay, next up we have Cuban. That so basically beginning to speak about DeFi and NFT. So do you guys think this is the beginning of a further bull rally? I mean, it's mostly eyeballs, right? You think about the amount of eyeballs that these billionaires are bringing in to this discussion that even as a smaller company like Dragonchain, we notice that we get a lot more outreach and we get a lot more answers to our own outreach. So anyway, what are your thoughts, Orrin, on Cuban?
Well, Mark Cuban is obviously on the show Shark Tank, which have 5.1 million monthly viewers. So we believe his platform has the ability to convert the average American into a crypto user. We saw these string of tweets and we thought that it was very interesting. He talked about DeFi, NFTs, Aave, and it was very cool to hear somebody of his prestige talk about things that we think are more nuanced and niche. So this is definitely big.
Yeah. Right. What do you think, Titan?
I agree. I think the fact that, on one hand, Mark Cuban said, "Oh, well, Bitcoin it's not any more valuable than the banana that's sold on the Art Basel show in Miami." Obviously, that's not true. But on the other hand, he says that DeFi and NFTs, the decentralized finance ecosystem has a lot more room to grow, and it actually does have value in his eyes. So value is in the eye of the beholder, but ultimately, like when a guy like Mark Cuban says, "Hey, DeFi is validated," that's a pretty big deal. And when he creates his own NFTs and starts selling them, and has like a really good feeling about where this stuff could go, that's a pretty good sign. And that's just like one guy, and that's, he's got massive platforms. He's the owner of the Mavericks. He's like you said, on Shark Tank. I mean, can't get any bigger than that.
Right. It's really interesting, isn't it? I mean, there's enough stuff that's just churning in the background with a lot of different companies that you have to think a lot's coming this year. So, next up, Doge. Good or bad for multiple people, Elon and others, to be it is funny, right? But
it is funny.
What do you think about it for the industry and its seriousness and how it will affect real adoption? Titan.
I think Doge is a great way to get people into crypto, either by becoming a permanent bag holder or just like being introduced to, how all the stuff works. There's no cap on how much you can buy, at least on Robinhood. If you're outside of Robinhood, you're fine. But I mean, you're kind of entering into the decentralized ecosystem of sorts. You realize, I can take this Doge and like take it out of this platform and put it on a wallet. It's pretty cool, right? That's just the kind of like the entrance to this whole thing and how it works. So it'll give people a taste. Maybe they'll make a little bit of profit. Maybe they won't. Maybe they'll lose it. But either way, they'll get like interested in decentralized finance, or at least like the concept. And then they'll start looking for better opportunities like Ethereum, Bitcoin. Hopefully they figure it out. And I think most people will. The only question is, can you profit before other people do in Doge? It's because that's what it is. It's a pump and dump.
Yeah.
Good point.
What do you think, Orrin?
We think that despite Elon's intention, Doge is in crypto, and this entry point will lead to the possibility of people finding out about other coins such as Ethereum, Polkadot, and other notable coins. Mm-hmm. We find it quite puzzling that Elon Musk talks about Doge because there are other coins with more utility, such as Ethereum, given its smart contracts, the DeFi ecosystem, the Reddit integration, and the general market share next to Bitcoin. So we're hoping that Elon looks around and sees some of the other coins that are also interesting within the space.
Yes. Did he or did he not? Am I remembering it wrong that he did tweet Ethereum a few years back? I swear.
Maybe.
Sure.
I swear you did. That's something to check. Something else to note. When I first started in Bitcoin, it was very cheap. It was probably very similar. That sending the biggest effect that I knew this was part of it, but to experience it was amazing. That I purchased Bitcoin on Mt. Gox, Right. I ran a miner as well, but I hadn't, a CPU miner, right? I didn't mine anything. But when I actually took it off Mt. Gox and sent it to my wallet, and that was the team's goal, that we all had to do this within, a week. And it was just otherworldly. It was just it's like, I hold this, right? And I can send it somewhere else, and there's no bank. And it was really interesting to me. And that's probably the same that we have with Doge right now, or a new user would have. The interesting piece would be, though, if they tried to move to Ethereum, yes, they can acquire a small enough portion of Ethereum that they could afford it at those same levels, given the granularity. But the issue would be actually sending it would be too expensive right now, right? So that's an interesting thing. People don't usually think about it. I mean, Doge does have utility. I'm not an expert, but it, it is an interesting thing, and it's funny, and maybe that's another reason. I imagine the same reason he tweeted Ethereum back then was probably not that he was pumping some Ethereum that he just bought. It was probably just for the silliness of it, right? Just to or to see the reaction. So
I can't imagine that Elon's over here on Robinhood flipping Doge, with like billions of dollars. I'm not sure about that. If he is, good on him for pumping the shit out of the thing. But
hilarious. Okay, let's see here. Next up, Bitcoin is a dirty business. That Bloomberg reports that it's horrible for the environment, and this has been a common theme for quite a while on proof of work, that it's very expensive and that there's a massive carbon footprint. What are you guys' thoughts? Basically, in the balance between the value and the effect, and do you think the question we have written is, do you think that the value or security is the same without the hash power? Ethereum's going to move to staking, and we'll see, right? So what do you think, Orrin?
Well, to enter the cryptocurrency space, most people need to buy Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then from there they can enter into any other cryptocurrency. Most of those other cryptocurrencies deciding to work within proof of stake, proof of work being integral to Bitcoin. And that's the reason why Bitcoin is Bitcoin, because it's consistent and because it can't be changed. So for us to question those underlying fundamentals, we would be changing what Bitcoin is and the reason why it is digital gold. So we believe that while that is a valid concern, there are other coins that are addressing this, and people aren't saying that you have to invest in Bitcoin. But again, Bitcoin is the premier cryptocurrency, so it is what people come to associate with cryptos.
Very good. What do you think, Tytan?
I mean, I've heard it once. I've heard it a million times. Like my grandpa thought like Bitcoin mining was like actual mining. Like they were actually like mining in the earth, and causing massive environmental problems. I've seen, I can't remember the statistic, but they compared the power usage of mining around the world to something. And I think there was one comparison that was made to like Christmas lights, during the entire month of December, for example. I think Christmas lights use a massive amount of electricity, but nobody says anything about that being a problem for the environment. It's just like anything you can do to attack Bitcoin. Terrorism, bad for the environment, too much freedom. The little things like that, are very detrimental to the powers that be. And I don't think there's really any way you could stop it. And I also don't think that, I think Bitcoin's model, proof of work, is probably the best model there is. I mean, what's better than proving that you attributed some kind of work to a network and you're securing the network with that work? I don't really know what's better than that. I mean, I get staking and all that, but I think proof of work is like the best model. There's a reason why Bitcoin's been so successful for 11, 12 years.
Right. And it ends up being sorry, I'm getting feedback. I'm going to mute you for a second. It ends up being the great demonstration of the technology that without any leader present, it was able to get worldwide attention, for one, but more importantly, to become the greatest compute power on Earth. That's a big deal, and that's because of the hash power. Now, I will say, the big concern I have about that is that the direction, and that it is the actual governance is not necessarily or arguably decentralized enough, and that there have been mistakes made in the past, and there have been issues with people influencing people or companies or organizations or states influencing that direction, which is kind of scary. But anyway, very interesting stuff. Okay, so let's see here. Next up, I have some amazing reporting from CoinDesk that Jack Dorsey has set up his own Bitcoin node. Dorsey will now have a hand in keeping the Bitcoin network running, they say. I don't know, I just think it's hilarious. Sorry. So the question is, why is he so heavy in on Bitcoin, yet so open to censorship? And is he a good spokesperson? Is he a good role model for the new Bitcoiners? Titan.
I would say no. I don't think he's a great role model for, or a great leader for Bitcoin. I think it's really hard to have an interest in decentralized applications when your platform is so centralized and is obviously very it's not censorship resistant. So it's hard to kind of advocate for one thing and then do another thing. And this article makes it seem like, Jack's going to have a hand in the direction of Bitcoin, just because he's got his own Bitcoin node now. That's scary. And I think it's like what you said just a second ago, that there's a lot of interests that are trying to kind of shape the future of Bitcoin, either by like sponsoring certain Bitcoin developers, or trying to get their hands in these little engineer circles for, Bitcoin core devs. I think there's definitely going to be some players trying to have their hand in the future of Bitcoin, how it kind of moves. And I don't think Jack Dorsey would be the best fit for that leadership role.
Right. What do you think, Orrin?
Anytime we see corporations trying to adopt or invest in cryptocurrencies, we should always be skeptical, even with Elon Musk. Everyone has motives, and few of them align with decentralization and financial autonomy. And these are the people we fear entering Bitcoin because they will create an oligarchy, pumping and dumping for their already large bags, while we, the owners, get left with the stigma, for example, Facebook with Libra Coin, and the inability to purchase digital currencies, which were made for everyone.
That's a great summary. Because that's true. I mean, I don't mind the attention that he's giving it. I just think it's hilarious that he's getting the attention for that, and nobody calls it out. I mean, that they've been notably, between Facebook and Twitter, notably the worst for censorship. I think, that's not an exhaustive survey, but it's been anecdotally pretty obvious that the censorship is an interesting angle. Now, he has put together some organization that is intended to, in fact, even one of our guys had been talking to him about a year ago, to decentralize, to create the platform upon which other platforms could decentralize. I think it's a big mistake the way they're doing it, but that doesn't matter. They're trying something. So there is that on the positive. But I get very, very sick of, in fact, that's the whole reason for our number go up segment. I get very frustrated maybe, or annoyed with the over speculation or the speculation for speculation alone. That there's no fundamental analysis. There's no consideration of what the utility is when a lot of people talk, crypto Twitter in particular is very bad about this, that everything is about number go up. It's like, if you can say number go up, it's a tweet. That's it, right? And it's the most ridiculous thing, because the TA, there are other like Bitcoin or Ethereum Jack. I don't know what he's going by right now, right? That do some really good TA for great for entry, right? When do I buy that? I know that I want to buy this because my business is going to use it, or because I know other businesses are going to use it. So even the speculation, knowing that this utility, its time has come to know which things to buy, and now we can use TA to determine which ones. Now it's all about timing. Do I enter efficiently or not, right? And sometimes it doesn't matter. But so much of it doesn't even look at, and I understand a lot of it's very technical. Sometimes it's hard, to talk about some of this stuff, obviously. But anyway, this is a pet peeve, right? So anyway, okay. Next up, we have Ethereum miners earned a record 830 million in January. That is, it's very, very high fees consistently. They've taken few breaks, and of course, I've not looked at historical. I've just anecdotally when I've needed to send something, or I just purchased 2 governance tokens for DIN, right, so that I personally could have votes as well as the company. And man, it cost me. I purposely did not keep track of how much I spent in fees, but it was a good amount. So, and that's putting liquidity into Uniswap and then converting it into an NFT and all the rest of that, right? So it's just a very expensive process. So, what do you guys think? High fees, good or bad, or just cost of doing business? Maybe they'll improve next year. Who wants to go first?
I can take it.
Right.
Yeah, good, bad, or how about ugly? Yeah, it's not really a great thing when your transaction fee to do a simple swap is $100. That's not like a random example that I just pulled out. That's an actual example that I've paid $100 in gas fees recently for a simple swap. So I don't think that any transaction should cost that much. I mean, let alone like, $5, $10, $20. We're talking $100 here, like $80 to $100, like on average. I think for most transactions, I think, some people are paying like $700 depending on how big the transaction is. It's just ridiculous. We're going to have to move to Ethereum 2.0 very rapidly, or there's going to have to be some more interoperability between like Ethereum and other chains. Like, we're going to have to offload a lot of this volume if Ethereum 2.0 doesn't come out like rapidly, because we're about to see a lot more people coming in from retail and are just getting used to Ethereum and cryptocurrency for the very first time. And their first impression is going to be, oh shit, this transaction is going to cost me $100, probably for the same that I'm swapping out. It's like, it doesn't make any sense. So we're going to have to solve that. I think that could be solved with, there's plenty of different interoperable solutions out there, but it's like, there's just going to have to be different companies that decide to like decisively move on a certain direction. So we have Polkadot, we have, we have like Zill and some other different projects, but we're going to just like stick to one and make it work soon.
What do you think, Orrin?
We believe that high fees are good for miners and the overall profitability of Ethereum as an asset class, but it hurts the ecosystem and the innovation when each time we want to sign or complete a transaction, we're charged a minimum of $15, $20. And different companies have seen this, such as Binance, and are creating their own decentralized exchanges to compete with things like PancakeSwap. So it's going to be interesting to see which coins and ecosystems try to solve the scaling problem and offer incentives to steal some of that transaction volume. And don't forget that Ethereum fees can be written off as a tax deduction, obviously not financial advice. So we're hoping that Ethereum 2.0 can solve some of these problems.
Very good, very good. And we're seeing, I will tell you, we're seeing a lot of interest with the fact that we can do stable fees. That we have Dragonchain has no volatility in its fees, and that's a big deal, along with lower cost fees, because we're getting finally a lot of really good traction with groups that are needing to do intense volume. Stuff that's you couldn't, you potentially could run on Ethereum. I'd just say, especially 2.0. But I don't think that the combination of the number of transactions and the effect they would have on both network and the effect on the fees themselves. You wouldn't be able to run some of these systems on Ethereum, and so it's somewhat a good thing for us that Ethereum fees are high, because we have another angle to point to. The negative is that most of the time people think that it's impossible, so they don't even consider to do what they could do. And we're just now starting to get that opened up, that people are realizing, oh, I could do that. It's something they, in a dream, their best vision they would want to do, but they basically signed it off because of, tech press and, everybody saying it's not scalable and everything else. So it's an interesting thing. Okay. So we kept it short. So this is great. We're trying, so everybody knows, we're trying to keep this to around 30, so we don't go to an hour. So thanks a bunch, guys. And let us know. So Orrin, what's going on? What can you tell us about that you want everybody to know? Where can we follow? What can we do?
Again, we are Orrin, a collective conscious and cyborg. You can follow us at Real Orrin on all social media platforms. We'll be starting a cryptocurrency show starting in March, again on our YouTube platform, Real Orrin, and we're working on a decentralized platform that we'll be excited to share in future episodes.
Excellent. Right on. Titan.
Sweet. I got plenty of things to shill, but I guess I'll just point to the two main ones. FOMOhunt.com. I've been working on FOMOhunt.com for quite a while now. It's in beta stage. We've got a new backend engineer to help us out with both of our projects that we're working on. So it's about to be a full working product. Last thing that we need to build out is our portfolio page, but you guys can help us build out the site. You can give us any feedback that you want to offer. In that little bottom right little corner with the intercom symbol, you can just go there and send us feedback. Like, what do you like? What do you don't like? And whatnot. And then the other platform that we have that's really, really cool and it's picking up a lot of steam is our company, Nifty Labs. We have a product called Nifty Connect, which is really cool. It's basically like an NFT token gate. So if you basically wanted to create like a private Discord and you wanted to give people membership tokens of sort, you could do that by using Nifty Connect. You would log in with your MetaMask. It would basically search your wallet to see if you have an NFT that is required, a certain contract address. And then if you do, it'll give you access to what I call the promotion. The promotion will give you a Discord link, for example, and then boom, you're in. So it's really cool. We're experimenting with a lot of different ideas for that. We're even coming up with an authentication system now. It's like a Web 2.0 meets Web 3.0 system. Super cool, and has a lot to do with like NFTs, and we're going in that direction. So awesome.
Right on. Well, thanks so much, guys, for joining us. And we'll talk. We'll have you. I know we'll have you both back on soon. So
awesome. Sounds good, man. Thanks, man.
Welcome to the Matrix. Thank you.
Yes.
ディズニーが最初に開発し、その後スピンアウトし、オープンソースとなったドラゴンチェーンからドラゴンチェーン商用プラットフォームおよびドラゴンチェーンインキュベーターが登場。まず資産となるデータの保護に重点を置いているドラゴンチェーンプラットフォームを見ていきましょう。サーバーレス構造を用いた拡張性高いプラットフォームはスマートコントラクトの開発たちが Java、Python、Node、C# など使い慣れたプログラミング言語で作り込まれるようパッケージ化されています。さらに全てのスマートコントラクトが Amazon AWS とその他の機能にフルアクセスできます。次はドラゴンチェーンインキュベーターを見ていきましょう。ドラゴンチェーンインキュベーターはブロックチェーンプロジェクトのローンチに必要なプロセスを標準化しました。では次にドラゴンチェーンの市場を見ていきましょう。暗号通貨、マーケティング、法律、ソフトウェア開発、採用といったあらゆる分野のスペシャリストたちが集まるエコシステムになっています。またこの市場には開発者たちが再利用目的で収益化したビルド済みのスマートコントラクトライブラリーも含まれています。最後に紹介するのがドラゴンチェーンプラットフォームとエコシステム全体の全てのサービスにアクセスするためのトークン化されたマイクロライセンスです。ブロックチェーンビジネスマジック用に設計されています。あなたも最も安全で柔軟性が高くビジネス仕様のブロックチェーンプラットフォームとエコシステムの一員になれます。10月2日、いよいよドラゴン発売開始。